Hello, welcome to the Movie Review channel. Please subscribe the channel and like the video. Let's go to the video. Not dead yet. Good news, everybody. Gina Rodriguez is back on your small screen after ending the wonderful and underwatched Jane the Virgin in 2019. In ABC's Not Dead Yet, premiering February 8th, Rodriguez plays another charming writer at a personal crossroads. ABC's new sitcom has a decent enough premise and a winsome lead performance. But it seems to struggle to get out of its own way, exhibiting a fundamental clumsiness that's off-putting, as if the show itself needed another pass before making it to the air. Gina Rodriguez, starring as Nell, has recently started work at a Southern California newspaper after a crushing breakup left her alone and broke. Ambitious and not without a healthy sense of pride, Nell is at first disappointed to have been placed on the obituary's desk. She comes to be outright destabilized, as the ghosts of those about whom she's writing haunt her, at least until she sends in her copy. Notionally, these hauntings are meant to give Nell a greater perspective on her life, and the ways in which she ought to pull herself together. But don't worry, this series exists at the opposite end of a spectrum from, say, 6 Feet Under as regards the gravity and seriousness of purpose with which it treats the concept of death. Okay, it's just a network sitcom, but an episode involving a dead influencer deserved a rethink. Mordant, pitch-black wit requires a real sense of humor to pull off. The setup, Nell sees and hears the ghosts, but no one else does, allows Rodriguez to use her talent for physical humor. I was practically guffawing at one flashback sequence retold from an outsider's perspective without the ghost's presence. In Rodriguez's hands, Nell is vulnerable and witty, the actor's command of the screen almost at odds with her character's floundering persona. It's nowhere near the serendipitous showcase that was Jane the Virgin, but it's a great performer making the best of not great material. Nell is not particularly relatable, funny, or endearing, but she doesn't push the viewer away. Not Dead Yet also features a delightful cast of recurring characters, including new girl alum Hannah Simone as Sam, who matches Rodriguez's internal glow as Nell's best friend. Lauren Ash has a lot of fun as the imperious and out-of-touch boss, while Jimmy Bellinger seems to have a great time as the unpaid intern and Nell's presumptuous rival. Each of these supporting players in Nell's life is relatively well-defined in the jam-packed pilot, which finds the once successful journalist struggling to balance the changes in her friends' personal lives with her seemingly newfound ability to see dead people. But whereas some shows go out of their way to come up with a semi-plausible reason for their protagonist's spectre-seeing abilities, Sam from Ghosts, for example, fell a flight of stairs and banged her head, it's not entirely clear, over the first 5 episodes screened for review, how Nell came to develop such a mystical power in the first place. Has she seen dead people at different points in her life and never realized it? Would this ability go away if she was no longer writing obituaries? What about if she wasn't working as a journalist? These unanswered questions linger in the background of the early episodes, as Nell tries to make the best of her new set of circumstances. While Nell is largely off reckoning with the ghosts of her past or seeking advice from friendly new ones, her colleagues and friends take a back seat in terms of development. You might think that the creative decision to focus more on Nell's personal journey and less on her personal friends and friendships underscores how detached Nell feels from the people around her. But I believe the show is still strongest in its nascent stages when it brings that existing history, especially between Nell and Sam, back into focus. By focusing more on its core relationships, Not Dead Yet could very well help to breathe new life into the network sitcom. Most of the workplace drama reads like a writer's fantasy of what it is to work at a newspaper. There are the occasional lobster lunches for inspiration, for one. The good people putting together the SoCal Independent may worry about numbers, but no one gets laid off, everyone makes a living wage, and Nell appears to write just 1 column a week. The focus on the human condition is also why it's so nice to visit the cheerful, accepting world of Not Dead Yet. Who wouldn't want to spend half an hour a week in a place where newspapers are thriving, ghosts are here to help, and everyone's life has a purpose. To be honest, it's a slow start, but I personally think it's worth waiting. Windsor and Johnson produced This Is Us, which leaned into grief and death without the dark levity that imbues so much modern TV, and Not Dead Yet gives them a chance to do just that. If Not Dead Yet dares to get more personal with Nell, and it takes a major step in episode 5, the series could improve, especially if the cast chemistry starts to feel more organic than forced, as it often does early in a series. Not Dead Yet is not dead yet, but as of now it doesn't have much of a pulse. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the video. Please write your opinion in the comments section and like the video and subscribe to the channel.